Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to participate in KL20 Summit and have this opportunity to introduce CIC to you. We're relatively new to this market, so we would like to take this opportunity to make as many friends as possible and seek partnership. We were here just 2-3 days, but we were totally impressed by the dynamism and enthusiasm here. And we had a chance to meet entrepreneurs, visited companies, having discussion with our counterpart, Kazana, and listening to the speech by the Prime Minister and the ministers today, and also the SEC chairman here. In my previous life, I spent 16 years with China's Security Regulatory Commission. Went through the process of liberalization and opening up, and participated in the process of China capital market growing from a relatively small market to the second largest market in the world. So we're going to have some discussion with SEC later. And we're more and more, after spending a couple of days here, we're more and more convinced that it is a good time for us to invest in this region, to help bring the economy to a higher level and to strengthen China-ASEAN financial and industrial partnership. First of all, let me say a few words on CIC, China Investment Corporation. We are one of the largest sovereign wealth funds in the world, managing $1.24 trillion total AUM. And aside from owning almost half of China's financial assets, we deploy about $300+ billion around the globe. And between CIC International and the CIC Capital, which is, CIC International is more public market, and CIC Capital is more private equity / direct investment, which is under my supervision. So we're trying to make a financial investment, but at the same time, we try to deliver some strategic value proposition. I always believe that as sovereign wealth fund, we have some social responsibility to fulfill, to help facilitate cross-border industrial cooperation, for example, and help bring everybody together. And to help Chinese capital and Chinese entrepreneurs to go global or go international, it is very, very challenging, task. If you look at the right-hand side, we're seeing in the new century, between 2002 and 2020, first there was a lot of Chinese capital going abroad, peaking at 2016. At that year alone, there were $230 billion going abroad, only to see quite a large chunk of the money being lost. Starting from 2016, we have witnessed the change of geopolitical situation. We had a US-China trade war, we had a COVID, and we had a Ukraine-Russia. So the environment has deteriorated in the past couple of years. Also started from 2016, we began to experiment some innovative partnership, which helped grow our business by more than 200%. How did we do it? The first initiative was with US. We spoke with some of the leading Wall Street financial institutions and built a US-China Industrial Cooperation Partnership, which targeted at the Midwest or manufacturing sector of US to help US company to come to China to tap into China's vast consumer market to help grow job opportunities in their home country and also help Chinese consumers access better products/services. So I listed a few famous companies in the Rust Belt. So through our partnership with one leading American institution, we formed the U.S.-China Industrial Cooperation Fund. The first investment best illustrated our concept. The company B was a cooling solution supplier to major U.S. electronics company, cell phone maker, EVs. What we did was we helped the company to grow their business in China. So today in China's high-speed train, they're using B company's cooling solution. So China's high-speed train is one of the safest in the world. And the B company grew more than 700% after our investment within 3 years. Bear in mind, they had been in China for more than a decade before we stepped in. So with that success, we were able to round up a lot of partners around the globe, primarily in the G6 countries. So since then, we have built US-China, UK-China, France-China, Italian-China, Japan-China, and Germany-China Industrial Cooperation Fund. And in the past 4, 5, 6 years, probably the most unlikely time, we were able to successfully raise fund and deploy more than 50% on average the total capital, and achieve on average 20% plus IR for all the bilateral funds across the board. So central to our strategy is two major aspects of China. One is China's vast consumer market. Here I'm showing a picture of Shanghai Marathon in 2019. The event alone attracted 50,000 runners. I was one of them, so I use this picture. Also, it looks good. And but in that year, China had 1,800 marathons, and not everyone having the size, but it's about 5 marathons per day. If you can provide some product or service to a small fraction of this huge population, you'll be widely successful. The second angle for our approach is China's industrial system, which is already one of the most comprehensive industrial systems in the world and deeply embedded in the global industry network. So by bringing in any manufacturing facility to China, you're going to reduce your cost by 30% at least, if not 70%. And for companies in developed economies or developing economies, if you can procure from China, you can also reduce your cost by a huge margin. Let me give you a few examples of what we did with those bilateral funds and the portfolio companies. In the past couple of years, we have helped more than 24 US, European, Japanese companies to come to China or improve their operation in China. Primarily in 4 sectors. One is advanced manufacturing, as illustrated by this G company from Italy, where we help relocate their plant from Beijing suburb to Chengdu suburb, slashing their cost by 70%, operational cost by 70%, and helping them secure 200 potential clients within 5 miles of the new plant. And this famous Italian restaurant franchise, E company, you probably know the name, can't guess the name. Their largest flagship store in New York receive 7 million visitors per year, which is like 20,000 people per day. But we're looking at a site in Shanghai, which is this building, under which there will be 3 subway lines carrying 4 million passengers per day. So it's totally different scale. And in the healthcare sector, the best example would be company D, which is a Dutch company. It's one of the best in eye surgery equipment industry. After investing in the company, we helped them get a license in China, and their revenue in China grew 7 times in the past 2.5 years. And we also asked the company to set up a training center to train 400 surgeons in Tibet for free per year. So end of last year, we sold this company to ZES at 2.6 times, and we had our investment earning 53% IR. The last but not the least area is agriculture, which is also what Malaysia and ASEAN countries are good at. If you go to Beijing next time, when you eat the Peking duck, most likely it's not a Chinese duck, it's a British duck. We help brought into China. And we also invest in agriculture products like grape, corn to China to take advantage of this 1.4 billion consumer market. Typically, agriculture fund never makes money in the world, but our agriculture fund beat the benchmark by 550 basis points because of this marriage with Chinese consumer market. So over time, we have, as I said, helped more than 2 dozens of multinational companies to enter China or improve their China operation. They're mostly small, medium-sized companies. You should not look down upon them because they represent typically 50% of the GDP, 60% of the employment, and 70% of the innovation in our home country. So we have, over time come up with a set of methodology to help analyze those companies' China angle from very early stage, even pre-bidding a lot of cases. So we had very, very tight and seamless working mechanism with our GP partners. And we help come up with a China plan and execute all of those plans. And we take care of all the details. So for those, around 30 companies, to be landed in China, we actually look at more than 200 companies. And when we first started this initiative, we asked our team to help. There are 2 cases. One, multinational companies didn't have presence in China, so we asked our team to earn revenue for them in the first year of investment in China. And for the company which had an operation in China, we asked our team to double their China revenue the first year of our investment. And our team were quite reluctant or quite suspicious, but look at what we have achieved. We typically increase the revenue by, if not 600, 700%, at least 200, 300%. Another angle we try to bring into our partnership or investment thesis is to help connect China and the rest of the world in the renewable sector. We have invested in pretty much most of the, if not all, of the best infrastructure GPs in the world. Therefore, we have access to at least 3/4 of the infrastructure projects in the world in private market. On the other side, we have access to probably 90% of the solar panel in the world, 80% of the wind turbine, 70% of the battery, and more than 50% of EVs in the world, which is China. So by bringing those 2 together, we are not only just improving our yield of our investment, but also making this world greener at a much cheaper price. So it's surely win-win. Now we're exploring new frontiers. The first initiative we did was between China and the GCC countries. We have already secured a leading GP in GCC region, and build a bilateral fund similar to what we have done with the 6 developed economies. And we're here trying to build similar bilateral partnership between ASEAN and China. I think we're here at the right time. If you look at this region, the economy is booming, and I think the population is very young. And also, China-ASEAN enjoy very good relationship. China continued to be Malaysia's largest trading partner for 15 consecutive years, from 2009 to 2023. And in particular, the private equity arena, we're seeing a steady growth for PE activities in this region. I think the major areas we should look at or focus are primarily healthcare, telecom, business service, green economy, and of course agriculture. And Malaysia, I think, is particularly attractive. We're seeing labor market strength, exports recovery, good policy supports, and improvement in connectivity, etc. And you're seeing private equity activities in Malaysia is also picking up very, very fast. China is playing a very important role in Malaysia's economic structure transformation, only to play bigger role. We're seeing investment from China to Malaysia growing very fast, as illustrated in the bar chart. And we're also seeing a lot of Chinese companies here opening their offices in Malaysia, like Meidi and Longji. Some of them will have a discussion with us later this afternoon. So over time, we have tested and built this business model where we have 8 industrial teams, which cover all the major industrial sectors in China, and the 8 bilateral fund team, which covers their own regions. So we have G6 plus GCC, now ASEAN, hoping to form this 8x8 matrix, providing any multinational companies to enter China with 64 combinations of solutions, and any Chinese companies which want to go global with equal amount of 64 combination of solutions. And our industrial team and the regional team complement each other and support each other. To better serve industrial cooperation between China and the rest of the world, we also do CSA Forum, which is becoming the China's Davos in terms of cross-border industrial cooperation every year. So last year we did the CSA Forum in Hong Kong, and there were more than 800 attendees, and half of them were from US and Europe, with major financial institutions. The bottom picture shows the bilateral fund round discussion, where we had 10 attendees on the stage talking about how they cooperate with CIC and help a portfolio company to enter China or procure from China suppliers. In 2019, I attended the Davos in Switzerland, never knowing that would be the last one, pre-COVID. I was invited to give a speech on China in one forum. And it was quite tough because, the US-China trade war started in 2018. So a year later, everybody was kind of like, anxious. So I told the audience that there were a lot of anxieties in Davos, which could be boiled down to two things. One, whether China will still have growth. Secondly, if China does have growth, how would a developed China work with, or developing China, work with the rest of the world? It could still be a long-lasting question today. To address those two questions, let me show you this chart, whether China will still have growth. This was China's growth of manufacturing sector in the global stage. It went from 5% in 1997 to almost 25% within less than 20 years. Now probably more than 30%. What's behind those growth were China's opening up and liberalization policies. And Chinese entrepreneurship, as illustrated best by this picture, which which was taken 2006, 6 years after I returned from Wall Street to China to serve my country to develop capital market. And this is a typical, or at least not atypical, billboard in Beijing suburb, where you could find 27 pieces of advertisement of farmers' restaurants on one single billboard. It's probably hard to find this kind of competition somewhere else in the world, but welcome to China. This is China. If you can make it in China, you can make it probably anywhere else in the world. And going forward, this kind of entrepreneurship might not disappear, at least not for the time being. I happen to have the opportunity to witness the largest Beijing high school student simulation of entrepreneur summit, where there were more than 100 Chinese high school kids, the best from Beijing high schools, competing on all sorts of business plans like lithium battery, solar panel, all of that. And you can see those kind of entrepreneurship, got passed on to the next generation. I had the opportunity because this entrepreneurship summit was organized by my daughter and her classmates. So I was lucky. To address the second question, how would a developed or developing China work with the rest of the world? There's only one solution, which is win-win. Situated between China and the rest of the world, CIC is perfectly poised to play a role to help achieve win-win between China and the rest of the world, as exemplified by our 7 bilateral funds and this ongoing initiative between China and ASEAN. Plus, we have built this platform in the past 5-6 years. On the right-hand side, we have very close relationship with most of China's financial institutions and industry players. So any opportunities in China is probably just one phone call away. On the left-hand side, we have invested in the top 200 GPs in the world. And through bilateral funds, we have secured the relationship or very close partnership with most of the largest financial institutions in the world. So therefore, for any opportunities outside of China, it's probably just two phone calls away from us. One from us to our partner, which is most likely the national champion in their own country or their own economy. For any cross-border industrial corporation, the challenge is always, information asymmetry, poor governance, distrust, all of that. The best way to eliminate all of those information asymmetry and market inefficiency is to bring everybody onto one single platform, which is what we're building. So we hope everybody here in the audience to join us to help build this platform and also make use of this platform to achieve win-win between China and the rest of the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chi Bin from CIC, for sharing with us the multitude of opportunities abound across capital, talent, and venture building. Now, continuing